Welcome to another episode of Angels, Positivity, and Love. Absolutely fantabulous guests the world over with incredible track records. They're doing their unique life path like we all are, but they've owned it. They're tapping their unique authenticity within. They've been through something quite often that's transformative. And after sort of emerging through the other side of it, they've turned around and they're helping others or they're sharing their life story. Today's guest has already been on the show. She was episode 59 in March of 2024. She's back and she's rounding out almost the year for 2024 for us. It's Tricia Barker coming to us from Dallas, Fort Worth area. She's one of my favorites. She's super chill, super enthusiastic, professor, writing coach, author, healer, medium. I'm probably skipping a few things, but I don't even think she's there yet for doing everything she's going to be doing in the future. So, with that big introduction, I'd like to welcome Tricia to the show.
Thank you, Michael. It's always fun to talk with you before the show and after the show and to be on your show. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Can you talk to us? Let's do, we're not going to talk politics or anything like that, but there's certainly always a lot going on. It's mankind. There's some thinking going on, some judging going on. You're not going to hear the word love or unconditional love or awareness as much when you turn on the telly and put on the news. But can you talk to us what you think's going on for mankind? This is sort of an eternal question, and it's a big one, and we're starting with a doozy. But can you cover the big picture for us these days and maybe what's important to keep in mind for perspective?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question because my heart really goes out to people. I think we are being inundated with forces greater than ourselves, and empaths and people who are sensitive are really um, being isolated in many ways from one another, and we have to make an effort. Years ago, I think you may have heard, magazines say, take a different route to work. Now we have to tell ourselves, put the phone down, take a different route to work, join a local, not don't worry about national politics, get involved in grassroots politics at a community level, plant gardens with people in your area, get to know who controls the water, like at a local level, like really meet people in your area, and join book clubs in your area, like really get involved in meditation groups around you. Like we can't do enough to connect with one another, and I think that's very important, outside of technology. Yes, the it's great to have support around the world and to connect with people in different ways, but it's also important to know people. Um, Also just raise your vibe. Like I think that's the main thing that everyone can do and they can use their angels to do, is to remember that love and timelessness transcends the fashions and the politics of the day. And that 5 years, 6 years, 7 years from now, we may not be in the same place, that you may not like what is going on for a time, but it may be necessary for the world to finally shift into the world that it needs to be. Their growth can be difficult, and that's just part of what humanity is going through, but it can also be very beautiful. So what I would suggest to everyone is just you become, like you really rise and become the energetic, angelic, loving being that you want to be. And the world needs masters. Like honestly, the world needs masters of love. And if you have it in you, do it. Like don't be afraid to try. Like don't be afraid to try to rise and be the leader that you can be. And that's what I want every young person, every old person, every middle-aged person to do in their lives, is to rise to the occasion, because we need that. We need people who are willing to be inventors, who are willing to try their absolute best to lead humanity to a better place. And so I think we're going to see some amazing things. no matter what is going on in the political field, no matter how unhappy you are going to be, because guaranteed, one side's going to be very unhappy. We're so polarized that, it's funny, like it's almost comical, on some level when you look at, how unhappy one side versus another side will be.
Human to human connections allow soul to soul interactions. We're going to just mention or refer back to which episode 59 covers quite well your origin story as a senior at UT, near death experience, surgeries, being on the other side, everything that you experienced. But can we bring that in just from your perspective, your experience, because with that expression of, human to human contact allows for soul to soul interaction, um, shifting away from human details and facts, what is really happening? Is it more awareness coming in, more consciousness, more love? It's already here. Can you do it that way? It's sort of the flip side of the same coin.
Yeah. So, in 95, when I had my near death experience, I had not heard of angels working through surgeons. That was not in my consciousness as a college student in 95. But now it's amazing. Like some of the best cancer institutes in Boston and all around the country offer Reiki to cancer patients. And there are so many doctors who believe in energy healing, and there are surgeons who do call upon their angels when they are working, in surgery. And so we've come a huge way in consciousness. We still have a ways to go, but certainly there's been a whole lot more deep understanding about energy and its effect on healing. Dr. Emoto's studies, and so the flip side of all of this is, we have to surrender. No matter how dark the world may look or how bleak our assignment may look, we have to basically ask the angels to work through us in the world that we are in. And so that's part of what the assignment is when I say rise to the occasion. You may not feel like you are able to, but you can trust that they can work through you. You can trust that you will be given the downloads, you will be given the energy, that if you step up on a stage, like if you feel called to go into politics yourself, if you feel called to become a speaker, if you feel called to do something in a certain area and call upon those angels, you will be worked through. And whatever it is you already do, if you just simply call on them with that energy, if you benefit, if you want to benefit humanity in some way, then your efforts are multiplied. And so I think that's a beautiful part of that energy from the other side. And sometimes we're not even aware that we're being used when we're just in motion. We are being used by the other side for this greater purpose of connection and healing. The I don't know sometimes how to put things into words, but I know that my life was not meant to be over at that moment in time when I had my near death experience. When it's your time to go, it's your time to go. When it's not, it's not. And so the surgeon that worked on me was assisted by these light beings. So if you are working in a medical field, you may feel this. You may feel like, oh, I'm here, at this appointed time to help this person live, or I'm here at this appointed time to help this person cross over. Whatever the case may be, you may feel this spiritual presence that's with you. And I think that's such a beautiful gift. No matter what field you're in, you can feel assisted. And so I would just say, connect with your angels. And even if you're having a hard time doing it, just know that it is working through you anyway. Like in time, you will feel them and you will have that extra energy. And I think sometimes people feel drained by this world and they kind of worry, like, how can I get more energy? The angels do give you energy. They do give you that extra bump. I don't know how to put it in any other way, but it's a spiritual shot of caffeine.
Do you have an example of that? I can mention here, I'm a runner for 42 years since I was 14. I know there was a run that I got out way too late. San Antonio, it's like Austin, it's like Dallas. You wait till 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're a sitting duck, hot, hilly, humid. I got cooked, except Joy and Angel jumped into my legs and was 70% of the effort on the run. So I kind of was an idiot about it. I didn't even realize how much I had bit off getting out so late in the day. I always hydrate with a little bit of Pedialyte inside the bottle, so it wasn't like dire. But I didn't realize how much help I had gotten until I checked in afterwards. Can you share a couple of those examples you've gotten help? It doesn't matter for folks at home if it's pickleball, badminton, canoeing, just sitting down to read. You'd be surprised at how much help you can get. But can you address that whole concept?
Yeah, there's been several moments, but let me think about one in particular. I think the main one that I'll address is when I'm teaching, I'm never tired. Like, I don't know why. Like, like if I have a break, then I'll realize I'm tired. But if I'm in motion, working with people, I don't ever feel sleepy. I don't ever, no matter, even if a lot's going on in my life, I do feel kind of fueled by the other side. So I think, that part of my life definitely feels fueled by something else. But I have used the angels, certainly long drives. So just recently, I drove 12 hours by myself, long drive. There was construction and rain, and not my favorite type of drive because I have some PTSD in cars. And I did ask the angels to assist me, and I felt very caffeinated, even though I hadn't had caffeine for many hours. I felt wide awake and just like very alert that whole time, but not anxious alert. It was like just the right amount of alertness to keep me going through that whole trip. And so, I think the angels definitely play a role in our physiology and can help us in certain ways. And I can even give a story of my grandmother who had an amazing example. She was driving and she saw two semis coming into her lane at the same time, and she just closed her eyes, hit the gas pedal, and was like, "God help me!" And she ended up in front of them. Like she was way in front of them, and I was like, "Yeah, that's a good moment."
Wow. Okay, let's talk about angels themselves. I'll buy you a little bit of time just because I've got some notes and I'll read what I have written down if I can find it. What to know about angels? They exist within and around you. You coexist. What to know about angels? They live within. They live within you. You teach them, even though from our perspective, they know every page in your story. From our perspective, they're perfect. They're still learning too. They're staying open. And they come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And let me see what else. Pay attention, they're here. They're waiting by your side when you need them. Yeah, and that's a good starter. But you've been there, you've done that. On the other side, you've had a lot of interactions, you've seen, chatted with. What's your take on angels?
I see them around people, and that's interesting because sometimes they're very close to people, almost like they're like, "Hey, hey," like pointing, at their shoulders, like, chatting with them a lot. Sometimes they're like ready to give downloads, and they're near them, and they're just more of an energetic, protective, loving force. Sometimes they're more above them, almost as if they're speaking more to their minds, like they have more of that like mind connection to people. And other times they stand kind of far away as if the person is not that open to them, but they're ready. Like they'll come close, like if needed. They're just kind of waiting. And so I think it's cute that even if someone is not open to the angels, or has even said, I don't believe in you, like they're still there. They're still kind of waiting, in this sense. And so, I don't know if you've seen that movie years ago, Wings of Desire.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when you were saying it. Black and white out of Germany and Hans Wimmer. No, I forgot the name.
Vim vendor, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
but I always think of that, like, the angels sitting on the side of the building, just kinda looking down, just wondering about the people, so, yeah, I think sometimes people are not as open, but they're there.
And I have a quote from Archangel Michael around 2014. Now, it's not harsh in any way, but out of anything I've ever heard from angels out of thousands of answers, this is a little tough. It's tough love. It was more addressing the people who felt like everything had to be proven scientifically in
Mhm,
order to believe in angels. So it's kind of coming from that perspective. But yeah, and actually, here's the sentence before it. Regarding those humans who go far, far out of their way in life to declare that angels and more cannot possibly exist, Archangel Michael has a reply. But I also like this because it's kind of what you said. We are here to help and offer unconditional love. Take it or leave it. There's no need to expend energy on those who don't want unconditional love. We still offer love to them, but we won't be baited into proving or disproving our existence. We can leave that part out. Many are aware of us. They just do not listen to us or trust in us on a day to day basis. And I know that sounds a little like black and white, but there was still lots of love in there. And everything else I've ever heard is super fluffy, gentle, and easygoing. Can you talk to us? Do you remember to ask questions of your angels, or at least be like, hey, are you there? Or getting hugs daily? Is it pretty
mhm.
much daily or constant? Are you having conversations without even knowing it as you go to get your breakfast or take a shower? Are you still kind of 24/7 plugged in? Where would you rate yourself, or does it depend on the day?
It definitely depends on the day, I'm sad to say,
Oh my God. You
Um,
heard it here.
but, but I always call on them in meditation, and I do try to meditate daily, and most of the time I do, you know, twice daily sometimes, and the thing is, with healing, I'm always calling on them, like, that's something that if I'm working with theta healing, I believe that they can amplify healing, and I wouldn't have stepped forward to work with healing had I not had them alongside me because they were a part of my healing, from the near death experience and those moments in bed healing. I like what Archangel Michael says in that because I get so tired of people wanting to prove everything, and yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted by it because it was the love that changed everything. That love of Creator changed everything within me, and that made me not want to come back here. I mean, that unconditional love was the thing that made me want to stay there because we don't get enough of that here. So yes, if angels can give us some of that and relieve some of that pressure that we feel here, by all means, our pets need it, we need it, the world needs more of it, and it doesn't need to be proven. We need to soak in it. We need to bask in it. We need to receive it. And if you can just receive a little of it, receive it. For God's sake, receive it. And the other thing about asking them is we don't ask enough, and that was something that shocked me, to be honest. I mean, you think I would ask more, but it has taken these moments in life where I've had an illness and I've realized, oh, I actually have to ask when I take supplements or when I take pills. Like, I have to ask for the angels to make this work better for my body or to dull the side effects or to like, this is the best I can do. Come on, help me here. Like, let's make this work. Or, if you're going through something difficult and you can't figure out the answer and you've exhausted every route, then show me, then help me make a breakthrough here. Just, show me the way. Also, in helping others too. There were so many moments with students when there didn't seem to be a way, like when I had exhausted CPS, I had asked principals, family members to help different students. And I remember just falling to my knees and going, God, angels, what can be done for this student? Like, there's no one to help. I can't, adopt a 16-year-old boy. Like what, like, well, what can be done? Um, and then something would change. It would sometimes be an unusual situation, but In one case, that student came to me and said, I got a job at the grocery store. And so we worked out a plan where even though he was working late, he could take a nap in my class and, he could turn in the work later. And, we just worked it out, in realistic ways. And I was like, sometimes life has to just be worked out, and compassionate people can do that.
I love that. I especially love the last sentence. I'm going to put up 4 angel photos. You've already met these angels. If you've been watching this show for a long time, let me do the plug for the show. Angels, Positivity, and Love. We started in January of 2023. We're booked all the way into May of 2025, episode 220 or so. What else could I say? Just fantastic guests. Please hit the like, comment, share this, subscribe. We've had almost, I think we're 10,000 shy for 500,000 visitors, but we have the shyest crowd. So put 2 emojis in. You don't have to write any words, or just be like, I like Tricia, or I've read Angels in the OR, her book. We're going to ask her later about what her ideal retreat would look like in 3 or 4 spots around the globe in the Tricia Barker 2.0 or 5.5 version of her, let's say 2 years from now, what that would look like if she could go wild as a healer. But 4 angels will go up. Each one will give her a topic. It's Joy, Charlotte, Min, and Archangel Michael. And if you've watched the show, you've seen these photos go up, actual photos. You could put your hand out, do something, catch a flower, smell, ask a question, get an answer, get a hug. It's worth 100 questions. What's Joy got for you that immediately, blindfolded, riding a bike backwards, you could start talking about, and she should just be handing you an index card?
Hmm. Yeah, so many people have actually felt as if they have lost access to their joy over the last 4 or 5 years. And and just like you said, it is like riding a bike. You have to go out and do the things that you like to do. And we when we were kids, we weren't afraid to do things by ourselves and then meet up with other people. It was so easy. It's like you're riding your bike down the street and then you meet some other kids and you ride with them. And I think we need to be reminded that we can still do that, that we could still just go hike up a mountain and meet some people. You can still do the things you love to do and open your heart to others. It's a wonderful thing.
I think you just named a retreat theme that makes it the most fun retreat, even though there's still healing and all the traditional spiritual stuff and all the rest. Maybe some finger painting on the beach, though, in Tahiti. But the point is, you just might have named a new theme for a retreat. I've never heard of that, so that you can go and have fun. Ask Charlotte privately about that. We haven't gotten to the retreat question till later, but get another topic from Charlotte. And anybody who's wondering about her, Joy was Joy, the emotion Joy. Charlotte is everybody's favorite school teacher from third form if you live in Canada, third grade, with words meant to help you expand. Should be right up Tricia's alley because she's a professor, teacher, loves helping others, young adults/adults. We all need a little lifting up, and that's what she does, is uplifting. And what do you get? What are you getting from Charlotte?
Yeah, it's very interesting. So many of us have forgotten who we are. Um, and so part of a retreat and part of healing is finding the innocence that connects us all. When you began this, you were talking about polarization and difficult times, but what brings us all together? What is the innocence in all of our hearts that connects us? What is that light that, when you experience oneness with everyone, what is that? What is that true light? That innocence. It's something we know when we come into this earth and when we leave this earth. And so when you're able in meditation or a near death experience or a lucid dream or whatever it may be to get to that core, you usually access great joy, great play, great fun, great abandonment, but you also access a truth that can be told through writing, through art, through movies, through scripts, through all kind of different forms, something that tells a story of love transcending everything. So to echo, Michael's truth again, love is what proves that this whole thing is worth it. And so that's the proof, people. That you see these great stories. Um, Life is Beautiful. I always loved that movie. Something, so horrible as the Holocaust, but you saw a parent's love for his son and for his wife, and it transcended everything. It transcended death. It transcended, the game transcended it all. And the little son, won the game, and it was the father's love that really helped him win. And so when you think of any great film or you think of any great moment in life, it's love that helps you win. And so I would say that your story, your painting, your creation, your moment of just understanding what it is that your life means, it usually connects to love.
Beautiful. Okay, a soft-spoken professor who's light waves of energy and water. One would-be guest who's got 11 books out said, "Hey, that's Mother Hawaii." Another guest said the same sort of thing. Definitely tons of Hawaiian spirituality in her, but she's also the guardian angel for Dr. Karen Wyatt, August 30th, 2024 guest. And I pulled a 7-minute clip out that's across my social media. And I'm going to diverge for 20 seconds. When she was 11, 10, or 9 at her bedside, waking up in the middle of the night, there was a Hallmark angel dressed in white, totally more human, not just a silhouette. And from that moment on, at age 11, 10, or 9, she wanted to become a doctor. And here she is a retired physician, family physician, another type of physician as well, sharing that that's her guardian angel, my guardian angel, probably about 80,000 of us. And the bottom line is, whoa. And that's pretty cool. And another Reverend Dr. Julie Moret, who's part of the Michael Bernard Beckwith group in California, who's super intuitive, also said, I met her early in my New York City career path. So fun
Huh.
angel, you can feel with your hand, you can ask your own angels to show up on your path. You can do it dream time. You just have to ask. And Tricia will mention something about how simple it is to ask after this. We'll do Archangel Michael next. What's Min got as a reminder for us all, and what are you getting? And if you don't mind catching Tahiti, Fiji, Bali, I was seeing your retreat group picking up hermit crabs on the beach together and quickly letting them go, but getting a lot of laughs. It doesn't matter what their backgrounds are, but the ocean is a great way. Water is a great way. The beach, how can you not have fun together on a beach? And if anybody wants to catch the smell of Hawaii, bring it in. If you have to move your arms around or something, close your eyes, breathe deep, ask, and allow a little bit.
Yeah, so she is reminding me of the power of the mind and the intuition. And she's saying something along the lines of, we're all guided by our intuition, and to really sink into that guidance and to use that power with intention. That that too often, this is the way she's putting it, and it's kind of cute. She's like, who in the world would turn off their headlights in the middle of a dark forest and just hit the gas pedal? And she said, but sometimes humanity does that. And it's like, turn on your intuition as brightly as you can, and use the gas pedal like slowly. Like you might miss a tree here and there. Like, don't speed through life. Like, you know use your intuition and take it slow. Like that's really her message is, survey things, have patience, but turn your light up and really survey the land.
And the next, Archangel Michael's going to say what he wants to say to you for you to talk about, period. But we can all walk a smoother path. Is there some advice at the end of whatever we're about to hear you talk about from Archangel Michael? Is there an advice, universal advice for us all daily, how to walk a smoother path by allowing more and letting angels do their jobs, the universe to do its job? The universe provides a lot. Let's see what we get there at the very end.
Mhm. Yeah, very quickly. Michael is known for the cord cutting, of course, but what he's saying is that we daily can go to that very, very far away perspective. That it's so beautiful to see the Webb images, the James Webb images of galaxies very, very far away. And we know the internal work that we have to do, the healing work with ourselves, but get very far away from whatever country you're in, whatever things are going on in your life. Get very, very far away and think about the world from a very, very far away perspective and connect with his energy. Allow him to disconnect you from everything and reconnect you to the purity of that love, because when you connect with the purity of his love, you connect with strength, and you connect with a new kind of strength that allows you to be a leader in your world. So you may, as I was talking earlier about being a leader, you may not think that you're ready to be a leader, but that's how you become one.
Oh, I love it. Good answer there. Okay. Now an institute comes along. It is 2026, 7. You got 9 months. They say we'll fund 3 of your wellness, health, intuitive retreats, all about joy, finding your inner harmony, and bonding with others of different types. Where are you going to hold these retreats? And just to cheat a little, I'm going to hold up one of your advisors. Uh, Bodies of water, mountains, countryside, in the United States, overseas, you're fully funded. You don't have to worry about the details.
Oh, yes. So, one of the first places I need to return to, and this is special to me and to my heart, is when I was returning from South Korea, I stopped in Hawaii and I had dreams that I was meant to stop in Hawaii, and I had a really fun time there. I was kayaking through the North Shore of all things when I landed there, and it was like kind of scary, big waves, but I learned how to kayak through huge waves. And there was a surfer there who he was very interesting, and he said something to me. He said, "You'll return here. I know something happened to you in South Korea." And he said, "You'll return here when you're fully healed." And um and I just held back tears, and because I had been sexually assaulted in South Korea. And so it was kind of like horrifying on one level, because I thought maybe the surfer was hitting on me, and he was kind of cute, but he was actually sensitive enough to just know I'd been through something traumatic. And he said something kind of prophetic, and so I've held this in my head, like I need to return to Hawaii, and I think Hawaii would be one of the most beautiful places to hold one of my first retreats.
And
Spain or
yeah,
Portugal.
before we do the other two, here's something privately though from Michael and Charlotte about both the surfer that day and some angels behind the scenes, and then full circle when you are in Hawaii again, doing something very healing for others. Here, it's all private to you, and just say got it when you got it, and then we're going to Spain.
Ah, yes, I do have it.
Good. We dotted some I's, crossed some T's, and it doesn't matter what the details were. Spain it is. Where are we going in Spain?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's Spain or Portugal, but another kind of inside. Um, hmm, yeah, and even though, yeah, Hey, I'm hearing Barcelona, even though, yeah, even though I feel like the other one, but yeah. um, yeah, I know I'm supposed to go to Spain. Just a long story behind that one too. But one of the first videos I made, some light beings told me that I needed to help some people in Spain who needed to hear that my near-death experience story, that very first video. So I feel like I need to go there, and there's some beautiful communities, yoga communities, and different communities there. And then the third one, I am not sure. Wherever I am most wanted, so wherever the need is, and wherever that is that aligns. But I'm always open to something, you know, beaches are always good, certainly.
Yay, I like it. Okay, you're going to get the royal treatment here, or just the usual treatment on the show, which is 18 pages of quotes. Could be Don Miguel Ruiz, angels, Mary herself, Eckhart Tolle, you name it, who knows. But I'm going to thumb through. I haven't been very good at dispersing, I've been hitting a lot of the same quotes lately. Here's one. Okay, hold on. Picking a different page because I just hit a quote that I used earlier. Dickens, this one's so easy. Definitely doing two more after this. A loving heart is the truest wisdom. Oh, Queen of Hawaii. I can't pronounce her name. Lily Ukulani, Kingdom of Hawaii Queen. All things in this world are two. In heaven, there is but one. And last but not least, compassion is like a deep breath for many. Mother Teresa said this in 2015, and by that she meant we're rushing around so much up here that just taking a breath might be the closest we get in a typical day to our heart, and anything more complex. What part of those quotes do you want to go with or react to? Or was there one quote that you're like, wow, I like that? What was your reaction?
Yeah, the Mother Teresa one is profound and important. We certainly can change our thoughts and our mood by how we breathe. That's a lot of body workers understand that. And I've been listening to it's online, but she does tuning forks, and explains how she's helping your body. She uses like just an empty table, but she works inward towards the body. I think it's called biofieldtuning.com. It's very interesting. But what she does is, she just works in this way that releases so much from birth until the present. And she breathes out a lot through her mouth as she's doing this. And it really hit me how much we all hold, and how even when you don't feel like you need to breathe out through your mouth, if you just do that, oh, you feel better. Like you really do feel better. There's more in there than you realize. So throughout the day, just doing that, releases quite a lot. And it sounds kind of like you're mad, but you're not. You're just releasing some stored tension. And I think a lot of us are holding on to tension, and we need to have compassion for ourselves, certainly, and just let go of the tension, let go of the strain, let go of that. And that is a form of compassion. And that idea of two becoming one in the afterlife, yeah, there is no there is no death. Everything is eternal. And so we're often split into this idea of fear and love, living and dying. This loss. There is no loss. Like there is just love. And so if you take a relationship that has, a lot of people are always concerned by this. If you have, oh, say you have a father who was really verbally abusive and neglectful, but there were some some moments where he was all right. Well, over there, he could really want you to have all your power back and really love you and just hang on to the few moments where he was good and then have all this love for you. He could be just all love and it could be really confusing to the person still here, like because they could be going, what? But he's all love over there. He's just one thing. He's just love wanting the child back over here to have all his or her power back. And so I think that can be confusing to people, but it's the truth. When people say love is the truth, it is the one thing that is true. And it's hard to understand from this vantage point, but it's actually beautiful because we want to be loved a lot of times by those people who didn't love us. And when they're over there, isn't it wonderful to know that at the very least, even if they're not equipped to love us, they certainly want us to feel loved, or they want us to have our power back, or they want us to be our best self. Like they want nothing but goodness for us. And I think that should be encouraging. Like that should be like they're cheering us on at the very least.
Hmm. Another wonderful answer. Hey, I will add personal detail. I don't do it too often, but I lost my dad in 1970 when I was 2. He's a Navy fighter pilot type, not the guy controlling the airplane, but the one doing the weapons, the missiles, the radar, in an F-4 Phantom off the coast of Italy at night. It was his time to go. I think it was June 7th, would have been his birthday back in 1970. He was probably 25, turning 26, or 24, turning 25. And then June 10th of 1970, it was off again, Naples, nighttime, that USS Roosevelt, the Black Aces. They were marshaling, but it was his time to go. He told people he was going young. And my poor mom passed when I was turning 23, but here they are young. This is how hundreds of people have seen them. That's Michael Andre Ford Sr. and Barb. And they're
Oh,
reconciled, love, and you can ask questions of them. My mom is 5'4", he's 6'1", very sparkly, and you can hear them clear on. If there's a joint message, he can be pretty quiet, but he gets chatty with some people. Do you get anything, Tricia, from my mom in particular, Barb? She was an artist. What are you hearing?
oh, I do hear from her, and she's
She's lit.
yeah, she is amazing. Like it's almost like she wants to take my hand and just like go have fun. Like
I'm laughing.
there's something about her that she just loves to have fun.
Now, even though one passed in 1992, my mom in 1970, that's like yesterday. There's no time the way you think. So they get it when people feel stuck. Can we just hear a reminder from them to you with Angel's help and everything else on how it's not about the details?
Yeah. Oh, I do hear very clearly. And it's not just for me, so I can share this with others that we're reminded many times that it's not the end result, it really is the journey, that to have fun along the way. And we think, oh, how cliche, but no, we're meant to have fun along the way, like we really are. And that's what we remember is like sometimes the chaos and the silliness and the messes, but also it gets done and it's fun. Like your mom was a fun person. I can
Oh,
tell. She was fun.
okay, I'll blow sage. I'll show my light. We might do the connected thing through the screen and put up a couple more figures, but then we'll have you, you've done a lot of shows. You've done a lot of speaking engagements, presenting. You know how to close out a show with a final few reminders. Let me light some sage. It's a staple on the show, although there were 2 guests that I was so excited about, I forgot to do anything. But they did tons of stuff before the show or after. And then let me think. And we have 2 guests who just do what they do. And remember, love is what allows you to appreciate the whole contrast. So this show having 220 episodes and having 2 guests who never did a thing before, during, or after the show is A-okay by me, because you're the only one who can do what you do, the only one who can do your figuring out for yourself. And you got it all here. I'm pretty sure Trish is going to talk about that in a second. But here's that lighting of the sage. Catch some sage. Give yourself permission to let go. If you want angels to help get into your field, and help you be outstanding in your field next to sunflowers. Ask them to get that schnoggin working. You're doing the Zen thing, seeing without seeing, or smelling without smelling. Sorry. You're already there, is what I'm trying to say. If you're intuitive off the charts, you're probably tasting this by now. I don't have any smoke yet. Are you already getting it? And it's in Dallas. It's sage from, actually, I'm only a couple hours south, like maybe 3 hours. So I'm in San Antonio to Dallas. This is just going north locally. This is a first local one in a long time. So sage, but why settle for ho hum linear? Not that sage isn't great. Get a triple tiered tiramisu, no calories. So sage, flowers, and ocean. Might as well make it Hawaii. But if you got Costa Rica on your mind, do Costa Rica or Rehoboth Beach in Delaware. It doesn't matter.
I smell it.
Yay! And are you getting any flowers?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna.
Magnolia, actually.
My God, that's awesome. Okay, and then I'll put up out of Celestine Prophecy. Don't burn me. Celestine Prophecy. They do it like this in the movie, but I had a guest on who was around in the 70s, and she said, "Nah, we were doing that in the 70s this way, and then in India they do it this way. It doesn't matter how you do it." You can see if you've got pooches, and I meant to say this when you talked about the breathing. This is what I've been trying to remember for 10 minutes. When you pet dogs for a really long time, lots of love. Just be like, I'm Mother Teresa, and lay your hands on dogs, and you love dogs. I got we got two dogs here. A Labradoodle that is like a mama, and I just want to hug her forever, and I'll pet her as well. And then she sighs a huge release. That's what Tricia was talking about before. And so use your dog as a total lab, pun intended, to hug and to do that sigh thing. And then you yourself, you do it unconsciously, but more stressful. You read something horrible in the news, you're sitting in front of the TV and you just, and a family member will be like, what was that sigh for? So it's unconscious. You can do it more consciously. Okay. Give yourself permission to see. One dad joke. Santa's reindeer, Blitzen dancer. One of those two drink coffee, so much coffee, because they're Santa's Starbucks. See a little filament of light. And what color are you seeing between my fingers?
Oh, a little bit of yellow and white.
Yay. Okay. You can do that at home. Blue sky is number one. Shut off TV. Number two, your dog is wearing a black sweatshirt. Number three, just don't let him move. Okay. And last but not least, why don't I just put up a couple figures? Do you have a favorite figure you'd like to bring in? Is it Mary, Jesus? Is it an angel? Is it a Native American chief, figure from India, Einstein, Carl Jung, Debbie Ford?
Let's bring in a Native American.
Okay, awesome. Here.
And Jesus, why not?
Okay, I've got it for you. Let me just find them. Okay, dull knife, red shirt, and Geronimo, then Jesus, and then we'll go back to talking. Here's wisdom with some humor. Dull knife, his original name was Morning Star, and anyone can catch a scent, not sage, but one of those 50 other scents: desert, pinon, sweetgrass, juniper, cedar. You get the idea. And he's a sweetie. He's a great one for breath work, by the way.
I can tell immediately he's calming.
You can catch tobacco from that peace pipe if you want. Just allow. Some people have to close their eyes. If you want extra help, double hands on your heart. Ask angels to be in your field and help you smell. What are you getting from dull knife, Tricia?
Oh, definitely some Pinion, I think. And he's very calming. So my heart rate has lowered. I'm very, very calm.
We're going to bring you back. Okay. No, I'm kidding. Here's Red Shirt, the gentlest mom in the world. Compassion, compassion, compassion. Just the greatest sweetie ever. And what's his reminder for us all?
He sees beyond the actions of people to the hearts, and he sees beyond, and he wants people to see beyond the veil, as we call it, into the light. And he said it's not that hard to do. We're making it too difficult. that really you just have to see the joy that animates every single human being.
Oh my God. Poetry. We need to bottle this up and ship it out. Beautifully said, beautifully listened to, whatever I'm supposed to say right now. Finally, last but not least, Geronimo, action, 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 dry wit humor, can steal the show. And he's more slang. Yeah, nah, duh. You already know the answer. The first two were formal and proper. Here he is. And what are you getting from him?
Oh, wow. You know, it's somewhat full circle. And maybe this is what you mentioned earlier. He said each person will know how to listen to themselves, guard their dreams, guard what matters most to them, and follow their hearts.
Hmm. The inner fearless, peaceful warrior treading of your path. You can walk a smoother path, but you're going to have to pay attention. What else? Where you put your focus is where you put your focus. How you spend your energy is how you spend your energy. I've learned that in 13 years. Plus, angels exist. But do you care if you're wasting energy or are you doing a little more love, which is never a waste of energy? And you can still be pure action, no thought. Thinking is what slows everything down, but you can still get everything done. Don't worry if you think a little, it's not going away. Here's the big J for you. This is that Latvian, Lithuanian incredible artist who's probably in her 30s now with 2 PhDs. But anyhow, this is a very famous
Yes.
drawing or painting of Jesus. And he's super funny, in my opinion. I always think he's sparkling funny, got a great sense of humor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right, he does. And 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 why it's funny is he was just talking to me, you know, like, and 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 so he doesn't have a message for everyone. He was
He
talking
just
to me.
that works completely. And I'm gonna put up. Can I put up Joy and Charlotte? Do you have a here? I'll put up Michael, Joy, and Charlotte. Is that enough to cover the bases for angels for you? If I haven't said what we're doing next, this is another one of those private things. You're just gonna say, "Got it, thank you." If it works out that way, you don't have to say yes to this. But you remember what you went through as a senior at UT. There was the whole on the other side. There was no way at one point you were going to live, and yet a part of you was like, I'm going to live. You even got foreshadowing. People need to go back to episode 59. You talked about it. You changed your whole lifestyle from maybe a little parting, just a smidge, to like, hey man, I'm exercising, no more alcohol, no more smoking cigarettes, anything. I'm going to beat this. Death isn't getting me. And the bottom line is you had a tremendous experience detailed in Angels in the OR on the other side. There had to be, I don't know how to say this the right way, the highest vibe part of that experience that you wish you could bottle it up and turn it into a third Disney World or Disneyland because you're like, oh my God, it
Yes.
was the best. Can you get a sliver of that only if you wish to ask for it in 10 seconds with your eyes shut? They will do the delivering. I've been dying to offer this to you forever. They will tell you what I'm trying to say. And then when you're ready, close your eyes and just get the highest intent, highest vibe from the other side, but breathe through your mouth. And have it in a way that anytime you wish, you can tap back into that. But ultimately, it'd be cool if they handed you a telegram ticker tape thing, the thing from the 1920s that kicked out the tape, like a stock ticker tape thing that has a little message for all of us when you come back. Like dream big and let it unfold. I'm pulling those guys back. I'll put it down, but we'll sit tight. And a reminder to everybody, please like this episode. People are super quiet, and that's cool. But also, there are people who speak up. They're like, I got the sage, I smelled lavender, I smelled Hawaii. Put a couple emojis in. You're not committing to words. It's okay. Just a happy face. That's totally cool. The algorithm goes nuts. 20, I can do it. 20 more people get to see this video because you did a happy face. That's it. It's not about you if you need to hear it a different way. It's about you, though. Okay, have fun with everything. Trish, what'd you get?
I felt like this big happy scream.
Oh
That's what I kind
my
of felt
God.
like,
Oh,
like just absolute joy.
oh, that's good.
Absolute joy. But that's there aren't words to describe. It's kind of like riding a roller coaster that's really, really fun. Or, when you're in junior high and you're laughing so hard at
Mm.
something and you just get the like giggles that won't go away. I think everyone has had that, when you're just laughing so hysterically, life becomes a ride like that. Like that was kind of how I felt coming back, like not not completely. I didn't want to come back to the body, but then once I was in the body and I realized that I had been that high and that deeply immersed in that love, I think I was just like, here I am. I'm going to ride out this life, but I know where I'm going and it's great. Like I know where we're all going. We're all going to experience that love. If we're open and we want it, all we have to do is want it and it's there for us and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Ooh. I'm going to pile on with that and say you don't have to know what you're asking for. In fact, it's better not knowing. Just be like, hey guys, sock it to me. Take as
Yeah.
much love, help, humor, and fun, sparkly people on my path ahead. And Archangel Michael said two different things. One, set your intent, repeat as a mantra. And that's a great way to go. Be like, hey, I don't even know what I'm asking for, but make it bigger, fun, sparklier, and more
Yeah.
abundance, put positivity in. You can do financial, nothing wrong with it. And then
Yeah.
keep repeating that request. And then he said something the other day. He boiled down the whole thing in front of mankind as, oh, slow down, take a breath, and listen. And listen. That's it. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do much. It's basic listening like you would for your mailman showing up or mailwoman, whatever it's called, post person at your door or down by the mail place. Lost my post office. What would you do with a stranger? You would probably listen. No difference here. Okay, you're wrapping it up for us. This is the closing scene of the show. What do you got?
Hmm. So if love is all that we take with us when we go, right now, what can you do that's loving for yourself? Begin with yourself. So, what can you do in this next moment to love yourself, to give yourself more energy, to just enjoy this life more? And then make a 5-year, 10-year plan as well. Those write it down because the goals that you make and you write down are important. But beyond that, think about what you love. And as Michael said, give it to a higher power, give it to your angels to make it even better. Just better than you can imagine. Ask them to add their love to it because being surprised along the way with love is amazing. And you can be surprised on this journey and it can be much better than you imagined.
Tricia Barker, thank you very much for being a guest on Angels, Positivity, and Love. So wonderful to have you here. Holy cow.
Yes, it is. It's really a ton of fun to be here. Thank you for having me again.